See if I can charge this without. Oh, bro. The soup is gonna spill. Short of breath, man. Very short of breath. Very short of breath. Not good. Bismillah. Bismillah. Not feeling well at all. Short of breath. Constant coughing. At first I thought it could have been COVID, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Not quite convinced. I think there's another, like Hustle said earlier, I think there's another like undercover cold they haven't, talked about. But there's a lot of people with the same cough. How you doing, Kristen? How are you? How's the day going? You have Juma prayer An hour 20. Whoa, look at this potato wedge. Oh, it broke. It was like this long. My wife wants me to go home because I'm not feeling well. Sometimes, sometimes I have to cough so hard that I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Oh, you smoke? Yeah. Mm-mm. Never. Never, and I will never smoke. No, not vaccinated. I've had COVID like 2 or 3 times before throughout, the years. Never got it, don't want it. I don't know what that is. I believe in Allah. Hi, how you doing, Eric? How's the day going? Guys, please, if you can, help me out with a like. It helps the live stream, it helps the channel. In Superhuman Power, Smith, lack of antihistamines, especially when someone has allergies, could lead to symptoms of sneezing, running nose, watery eyes, nasal congestion. I have all that. Hives, no, don't have that. Skin rashes, no. And potentially even difficulty breathing, yes, I have that. Thank you for that info. Superhuman power, no. I don't believe in superhuman power. What am I eating? A little bit of soup from Publix. And some potato wedges. I might have a fever. My face is sweating and this is not hot, so it's not spicy. My face and my nose are sweating. Sometimes I'm coughing so hard that I feel like throwing up. No, I'm actually cold. I'm the opposite of hot. I'm cold. Yeah, that's what my wife said earlier. I'm gonna try to do at least some deliveries, you know. I might switch the live stream to the iPad because I'm gonna use my phone just to do deliveries only. gonna go ahead and throw some trash there in the bin. I'll be back in a second. I don't want to keep trash in the car, you know. I don't want to pick up anyone because somebody might report you and say, this guy's working, he's coughing a lot, he might have a cold or a virus or something, and Uber will pause your account. You know what I like about this place, Tampa? One of the things that I like about this place is that people just mind their own business. Everyone just minds their own business. Interactions are overwhelmingly pleasant when there is one, for the most part. By overwhelmingly, I don't mean like extremely pleasant. I mean like the majority of the interactions are just nice and cordial. And people just mind their own business. In Miami, people are nosy. If you're sitting in the car, people are looking in your car as they walk by to see what you're doing. What are you doing? I'm literally had 2 Cubans one time as I'm sitting in my car eating like I'm doing now. Walk past there, trying to see what I'm eating. Yo, you good? What are you doing? You know? Zero social intelligence. Do I know you? No, then why are you looking at my car to see what I'm eating? Or what you do? But, you know, often people do this. Another thing is, let's say I'm sitting here in the car like I'm doing now. Wa alaikum salam. Yeah, I'm in Tampa now, Joe. If you're in Miami, let's say you're sitting in your car like I'm doing right now, just eating, just hanging out. Somebody parks next to you. They will open the door of their car and hit yours. Not even say I'm sorry. They'll pretend like it never happened. They can see you in the car. They won't even look at you, pretend like it never happened. The last time this happened to me, a lady did this. She opened the door, she pretended like it didn't even happen. My instinct was to open mine and go, I was gonna do it 100%. Right? But at the last second when I grabbed the handle, I realized she had 2 little girls in the car. I realized she had 2 little girls in the car. So I said, I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, I like driving. I like working at my own pace whenever I want to. I like that flexibility. I don't do well with a boss. I've had jobs like that. Don't do well with them. Thank you, Joe. Joe, actually, interesting you say that. Joe, you've been here before, right? Because you said that, so you've been on the stream before. Interesting you said that, Joe. Yesterday, there's a bug flying in here. Yesterday, we served her papers. Yesterday, we served her papers. Alhamdulillah, bro. I took the papers to the private processor. Older white guy, nice guy, retired ex-sheriff, white goatee, white hair. We had a little talk. He invited me into his house, because I went to take the papers to him. We went in, we had a little talk in the kitchen. Anyway, a little talk, a little chit chat, and I told him a little bit about my situation and what was going on. He was just shaking his head the entire time. He said, "Don't worry about it. I'll take it." He has a southern accent. Nice guy. I left the papers with him. He said, "I don't know if I'm going to do it today or tomorrow." I said, "No problem." About 3 hours later, he called me. And he said, "I served her." Ah, nice, Joe. Actually, yeah, I'm here now. Going on 2 months. It was a long it was a long process and a lot of wait, but I'm here now. Alhamdulillah. So 3 hours later, bro, he served them. Don't worry about it, son. Southern accent. So yeah, man, it was a lot of Joe. It was a lot of waiting. It was a lot of chess playing. It was a lot of let your enemy think that they've sent you off for a spin. You don't know where they are. Let the enemy think they've deceived you. Let the enemy think that you're far when you're close and you're close when you're far. I play chess in my life, bro. There's people play checkers. I play chess in my life. Wait. The right time. That was difficult because we're talking about my son, of course. Thank you, bro. Now, several things, and this is why I wait for a certain specific time to do things. Several factors go into play. They thought they sent me off for a spin, meaning they thought, oh, we got rid of this guy because he doesn't know where we're at. Blocked communication. We didn't tell him where we're at. He sent, almost a year ago, he sent police to the same location where they got served. And the neighbor told police that they have moved. Police tells me that they moved. So they're certainly thinking, oh, we send this guy out for a spin. He has no clue. He has no clue where we're at now. He's going to be looking for us forever. Found out that they're still there. I'm like, all right, wait. Then I moved here 2 months ago. Yesterday was the day after Christmas. They also just had a baby. Two things. The day after Christmas, they just had a baby. My idea was, which I did, I bought a bag that says, "Welcome, little one," with like some pink papers, because it's a girl. Put the documents inside. Why? Because they are unlikely to come to the door if they see a guy over there with papers. When I went to this gentleman's house, the guy that served the papers, out of moral or something. To him, he saw it as immoral. I don't see it as immoral because he doesn't know several factors and everything that has gone on with this woman. And the reason is not for a gotcha moment, it's for it increases the likelihood of her coming to the door because she's not complying with anything. You see somebody at the door with a gift that says, "Hey, hello, little one," you're gonna open because you're like, "Oh, it's a gift, family gift from from somebody for a new child." So it was a way to get them to the door. It wasn't to be, haha, got you, haha. No. So there's a lot of factors he didn't understand, nor the type of person I'm dealing with. But I respected that. I respected the fact that he's like, I can't do that. Because I'm paying him. I actually paid a little more than he was charging. I respected that. I said, all right. He said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. So when he told me that, he said it with such conviction that I believed him. I believed him. I'm like, there's something about this elderly retired cop. Right? He seemed like a stand-up guy, honest guy. I believed him. So I could have walked away and say, never mind, I'm going to go with somebody else. And I had other offers of people hitting me up for that. But I said, let me take my chance with this guy. Now, my fear was, once he knocks on the door, if he's there with papers like this, they're not going to open. And now, going back to chess, now I've given up my position. Oh, he's found us. We're just going to refuse. Ignore. Either way, it would have ended in court anyway. It would just made it more difficult for me because I would have to pay to have this publicized on the paper, wait 20 days. It's a whole process, right? More money, more time. Now, I don't know how he got them to come to the door, but he did. They can't run no more, John. Exactly. He calls me back about 3 hours later. Remember, he said, I don't know if I'm going to serve him tonight or tomorrow. He calls me back 3 hours later. He goes, is this Shawn? I said, yeah. I said, hey, Bo, I served him already. I said, really? He's like, yeah, let me tell you how this went down. Again, I don't know how he got them to come to the door. However, boyfriend comes to the door first. Opens the door. He starts talking to the boyfriend, letting him know what's going on. She comes from inside the house, walks over to the boyfriend and goes, what is that? The guy had the papers. Now, at this point, even if they close the door, it's irrelevant now because he's already made contact with them. They've been served at that point, right? The minute you open the door, he said they don't even have to open the door. If I see them through the window and I can verify that's the person on this photo, because I gave a photo so he can know the individuals, the boyfriend or her, that's officially served, right? So she comes and goes, what is that? He goes, ma'am, I'm serving you some court documents. She goes, this is what he told me. He's telling me the story. He goes, she said, I don't want him. Turns around and walks back inside the house. Long story short. She goes, I don't want him. Turns around and walks back inside the house. Think about the level of delusion in this woman. But it doesn't surprise me she did this. Because she does this with everything in her life. She thinks that if she ignores the problem, it goes away. It's not there, it's going to disappear. She does this with everything. Same thing she did with me. Let me block him, move and block him, and he's going to go away. Problem's going to go away. I'm not the problem. She's the problem. This is not how life works. We know this. Yeah. So he tells her, it don't matter if you want him or not. You've been served. Now, I was so happy at this point that I don't remember what else he said. I don't know if he said that they closed the door on him and he left him outside, which he legally can do at that point, or that he handed it to the boyfriend and the boyfriend took him. I don't remember that part. I was just so happy that, And he said, don't worry, I'm going to write this in my report. So he's going to write it in the report that he's going to give me, that we have to file with the court saying she got served for the case to proceed. Next step. So he's going to write that in the report. Let me see what Tanya said. Sounds like an interesting story. Would have loved to hear it from the beginning. I have a feeling it's a long story. Good for him. I'll tell you the highlights, Tanya. I think you've been here before. So I've moved here to Tampa. And the mother of my son kept him away for like a year, doesn't let me see him, blocked communication, the whole thing. We finally got her served yesterday. So the story I'm conveying here is about the service processing guy that I met and gave him the documents for him to serve them. And he got it done yesterday. So that's pretty much what I'm going into. So I was talking about the part where he actually got them to come to the door, the boyfriend, because she lives with the boyfriend, that they just had a baby. And boyfriend came first, then she comes from behind the boyfriend as the guy's explaining to the boyfriend, these are court papers I'm serving. She goes, I don't want him. Not with that accent. Now the papers. Turns around and goes back inside the house. He says, well, it don't matter if you want him or not, you've been served. So that's where we're at. So he calls me, tells me the story. Then he told me I'm going to write this in my report. You know, what she said. She said, I don't want him. It's good that he writes this in the report. Because this, I have to send back, we have to send this back to the court. And in that report, it's going to show that she's uncooperative. So this is a point I can raise. Along with, she's blocked communication, doesn't let me see my son. That further shows that she doesn't cooperate. She doesn't want to cooperate with anything. Shows a lack of cooperation. She didn't even want to get served. She said, I don't want it. She walked back inside the house, you know. Strengthens my argument of her not being cooperative with anything, which is true. And she thinks that by ignoring problems, they go away. And I don't doubt for a second that she'll start crying to this guy, oh, I'm scared, I want a lawyer, so that he can cough up money, pay for a lawyer. Now it doesn't matter if they get a lawyer, because for what I'm asking for in the lawsuit, even a lawyer is going to look at that and go, I mean, if his lawyer doesn't care, he'll take their money. What I'm asking for in the lawsuit is 50-50. I'm here, she's here. I'm asking for 1 weekend with me, my son, 1 weekend with her. Not weekend, sorry. 1 week with me, full. 1 week with her. 1 week with me, 1 week with her. 50-50. What is the lawyer gonna do? We have equal rights, right? Yeah. Payments down the line, 50-50. Something that you will think, well, why do you need court for this? Because I'm dealing with an irrational person. You will think, yeah, what's the problem with that? Why she doesn't accept this? Because it's not about, to her, my son is hers. You know, like if I told you this bottle of water is mine. It's my property. You can't have it. It's mine. She thinks about this, like this, about my son, about a child. She doesn't quite get it that he needs his dad. Hello? It's not just you. It takes 2 people to raise a child, 2 people to make it. Normal stuff that, you know, people will say, yeah, that's duh. So you're asking for, you guys live in the same city. You're within distance to take him to school, to the medical, whatever he needs, right? You're asking for him to be with you 1 week with her, 1 week with you, 1 week with her. All right. You're asking for half payment on things, like medical, dental, things like this. And even one of the expenses, like medical or whatever, I was like, I'll pay for it. Okay, so what's the problem? She's the problem. That's it. You will think, who the heck needs court for this? 2 rational people would have said, all right, fine. Alhamdulillah, good. Let's do it. Not with her. Not with her. It goes back to, my son is mine. If you think you're going to have your own little family, these are things that she has told me, because I'm with my wife. She has a child. If you think you're going to have your own little family, it's not going to happen. So you see everything, and I have receipts to prove this. I have the text. It's about how she feels, and vengeance, and personal vendetta, and spitefulness. Also, we filed an extra form. Now, this extra form, they don't include it in the original lawsuit. It's a form a form you can get online. It's a form to deviate from child support. Now, somebody might hear this and say, "Why are you trying to deviate from child support? You're not trying to pay, bro, or what? You're not trying to take care of your kids?" The reason I'm filing a form to deviate from child support, and behind this form, I include my receipts, is because I was sending her payments on a weekly basis for my son, labeled child support money for my son, child support money for my son. So I have my pages of receipts. That's why. So they don't come, "Oh, let me hit him with the back child support." No. I've been sending this money, this woman money. Then we attached a letter explaining the reason why I had to suspend the payments. Yes, the reason why I had to suspend the payments was because she blocked communication and moved and did not let me see my son. And did not even tell me where she was. Am I supposed to just keep sending cash? I can't see my son. I don't even know about my son. Communication is blocked. How do I Zelle you? Now, I told her prior to her doing that, I told her that would happen. Why? Because she did this before. She's blocked communication and moved before. This wasn't the first time. So I gave her a heads up. If you do this again, I'm not going to send you no more money. Because I was sending you money. The first time you did it, I continued sending you money for a couple of weeks. I'm not doing it no more. She did it anyway. Because she has the new boyfriend to pay for things. Okay, so that's why I'm including that form. Stating. So that form shows I was taking care of my child, and the reason why I stopped making payments. It wasn't because I wanted to. It was because she blocked communication, moved, did not tell me where my son was.
It's just a different one of us going with. Yeah.
And I can prove that I warned her about it. I can prove that she proceeded to do it anyway. I have months and months and months of texts that are not delivered because I'm blocked. Months asking about my son. Where do you have him? Where are you with my son? What's going on with my son's therapies? What's going on with his schooling? Everything. I have all my receipts. So that's why I filed the form to deviate from child support. Plus, from what I've learned, in the state of Florida, and in a lot of states, they can't put you in child support and back child support for more than 24 months. Now, it hasn't even been 24 months. It's been about 12. So even if the judge says, I don't want to accept that for whatever reason, which I don't know why, because the payments are there, child support, money for, blah, blah, with a disclaimer at the bottom, with a little, when you sell a Zelle payment, or, well, let's say the judge doesn't. Worst case scenario, the judge says, all right, I'm going to put you in back child support. All right. It's not going to be that much, and it can't go further than 12 months, because prior to that, they resided with me for the first almost 2 years of his life. She didn't work. So anyway, and I'm asking for 50-50 custody. Not custody, it's called timeshare here. So 50-50, unless you make a much greater amount than the other parent, it offsets, because you're having your child the same amount of time that the other parent is. So nobody got to pay nothing to anybody. So I have the winning hand here because of the action she's committed And she's been unreasonable the whole time. She blocked communication almost a year ago, and I can prove it. She moved and didn't tell me where she was moving to, and I can prove it. Or where she's at. So, we're going to see now. I can prove what I say. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if she starts crying to this sucker that she's with. He's a sucker. I need a lawyer. First of all, the lawyer can't stop me getting 50-50. What's the lawyer going to do? Right? There's no reason for me to not get 50-50. One. The lawyer will take her money. If it's a lawyer with integrity, he'll tell her the truth. Listen, he's filing for 50-50. The judge is going to give him that. There's no reason for him not to get that. What do you want me to do here? You know? She would have a case if I was like a drug addict or an abuser or something like this, and they could prove it. Maybe they could build a case, but there's nothing like this. She got nothing. But she might still try to get the sucker to get her a lawyer. I'll tell you the only reason. One, she doesn't have to pay for it. He can pay for it. Two, she doesn't even have to show up to court. And again, she's the type of person that does not take accountability, responsibility for any of her wrongdoing. None of it. She doesn't have to show up to court. Even though she's done all the wrong, let the lawyer handle it. Not because she thinks she's going to win a case or... She doesn't care about this. She will cry so he can cough up some money for a lawyer. Right? I don't think he is. But if he is, he does, he's a sucker. Now, here's another factor that plays in here, because I know timing is everything. And Allah, God's timing, is the best. If it was up to me, I wanted to move here a year ago. On my own. My wife had to stay behind for a little while. I was here, emotion, and you wanted your child back as soon as possible, right? But that timing, when I came here and I slept in my car for 4 or 5 days, was the wrong time. Looking back at it, things would have gone bad. Now is the right time. And the lost time is perfect. Now, let's revisit some things here. By the way, if you guys can, please like the live stream. I would appreciate it. Let's revisit some things here. She thought she deceived me by moving, blocking communication, not telling me where she moved to. Oh, we've deceived him now. I found the boyfriend's address. I sent police over there when I was back in Miami for a wellness check on my son only. They had the neighbor lie to police and tell police that they had moved. So police called me back and said, hey, I spoke to the neighbor. I knocked on the door. There's nobody. I spoke to the neighbor. Neighbor said they moved. Interesting. They thought they sent me off for a spin. Oh, he really doesn't know where we're at now. I'm like, okay, no problem. I knew now I was going to have to wait to move here because I was going to move one shot with my wife and my stepson. So we had to wait. She had a lease. There was a lease we had back there. We had to wait for this whole thing, right? So the time is now. Now, few things happen. They think they sent me off for a spin. This guy doesn't know where we're at. He's never going to find us now. One. Two, Christmas just passed. This is why this time is perfect. They celebrate Christmas. They just had a baby. The day after Christmas, they get served. Because remember, they probably think I gave up. It's been like 11 months. And in her stupid mind, she thinks he gave up. Just because I blocked communication, don't know where I'm at, or so they think. This is very discouraging to anybody. They'll give up. He'll never move here. Certainly, he'll never do that. I know him. He would never leave Miami. I'll move to Alaska for my son. So here we are. Christmas just passed. They just had a baby. They're going to be home. Timing is perfect. They're going to be home. They were home, both of them. Now, I know her So this is what happens now. Because I know this woman. She's very resentful when she doesn't get her way. She is now going to start, if she hasn't already, start resenting this guy. Let me explain why. If it was just her, for as dumb as she is, if it was just her, if she would have come to the door, looked through the peephole, and see somebody out there she doesn't know, she would have never opened the door. Whether he had a package or not. She would have never opened it. She would have waited till they dropped. Because I know, because she lived with me, so I know how it works. The problem is that the private processor, the guy I was talking about, when he went, he got the boyfriend to open the door. So the boyfriend came to the door first and opened it. She came after and goes, "What is that?" The private processor starts explaining to her papers from the course. She goes, "I don't want it." Goes back into the house like the problem's gonna go away. Because again, she doesn't confront any of the problems. What do you think is gonna happen? The private processor is gonna be like, "Oh, you don't want it? Okay, madam, I'm gonna go back to my to the guy that hired me and pay me to serve this papers. I'm gonna let him know you don't want this, so that they can go ahead and drop the lawsuit." Are you retarded? You're being served court papers. What do you mean you don't want them? You think the problem's gonna go away, right? Anyway, so short of breath. So the fact that he came to the door, opened the door, and when he opened the door, a life-altering decision that she did not want is about to take place as a consequence of him opening that door. I mean, this is how it works in her mind. Realistically, if we step out of her mind for a little bit, we know this process would have still gone through because I just had to find another way to serve her, whether it is publication on the paper or express mail or something like this, private mail, something like this they call it. Outcome would have been the same. She would have gone served one way or the other. But in her mind, because I know her, in her mind, he is now responsible for this life-altering decision that is about to happen, that she did not want and she was trying to avoid. And she would have never opened that door. I'm letting you know how she thinks. I would have never opened that door. This little shit opened the door. Stupid. I know, I promise you this is how she thinks. Now because of him, again, because she never takes responsibility for anything, everything is everybody else's problem. Right? I've given this example before because it happened. 3 times she fell down some steps. And each time it was the steps' fault. Nobody else falls off, falls coming down the steps. She fell 3 times while with my son. Nobody else falls. But she blames the steps. Those steps are wrong. Like they're something's wrong with them. They're wet, they're slippery. Bro, everybody walks down the same set of steps as you. You're the only ones falling 3 times. It's the steps' fault. Anyway. So in her mind, he is responsible for this. I know her. She's now resenting him. That resentment, because I know she's a resentful person, will not go away. He is stuck with her now. They just had a baby. She had a baby with him. And I know why. It's not because she's in love with him. She had a baby to anchor herself because he has a house. That's it. He has a house. 2 kids, young kids, and a house with a couple of rooms in it. He's not balling. He's not a baller. Because when he had with his ex-wife child custody situation, he had to do it himself. He didn't hire a lawyer. So he didn't hire a lawyer to fight for his own kids. You think he's gonna hire a lawyer to fight for her kid? He knows that's money in the trash because he's gonna see the lawsuit. He already seen it. he's going to see I'm asking for 50-50 and I live here. She's going to be, oh, we need to get a lawyer. He's going to be like, you no damn lawyer. This is money in the trash. They're going to give him this anyway. What lawyer? What are lawyers to fight for something? What are you fighting here for? To defend yourself? Yeah, to defend yourself, but he's not asking for anything irrational. I'm not asking to have sole custody of my son. Then it would make sense. Okay, we got to get a lawyer to fight him on this because he wants to take the child away. No, I'm asking for 50-50 down the line. Again, I'm a chess player. Chess of life. Everything doesn't matter. Reality is about how she feels, her emotions, being spiteful and, not taking accountability for anything. So now she resents homeboy. I call him Shrek because he doesn't look like Shrek. And she's going to try to bamboozle homeboy. Now she's anchored. That's what I'm saying. He's stuck with her. She's anchored herself there with a baby. And may Allah bless the baby. All babies are innocent. And I said this before in a previous stream. God doesn't reward bad people with everything they want. Even if Allah gives a bad person something, a lot of the times it's not fully what they want, so they're fully never happy. I've talked about this on a previous live. I'll touch this, and I'll end on this note after this. They just had a baby. When she had my son, our son, she wanted a girl. She didn't want a boy. Then we found out it was a boy. Then she played happy. Okay, good. A blonde little boy came from that. What she wanted, again, she's a narcissist, so this world operates on what she wants. What she wanted was a little girl, blonde hair, like her, and her mom. Because her and her mom look alike. So she wanted that lineage of all three of us look, mom, daughter, granddaughter, we all look alike. She wanted that. Fine, whatever. She got a girl now. The problem is two things. The girl doesn't look like her, and she has pure black hair, like the dad. So she got a girl. It's a blessing. Every child's a blessing. But Allah didn't give her exactly what she wanted, what she desires. So she's never going to be fully happy. And guess what? She's so stupid that I promise you, because I know this woman, in her mind, she's blaming him for the baby not coming out how she wants the baby to come out. This woman is delusional. As if the guy has a say. But she thought, oh, I had my first child with me. Right? Me, completely different guy, right? And this child that I'm about to show you came from that interaction, from that relationship. Let me show you. For those of you who haven't seen. This child, it's my son. Crispy blonde hair, just like her, pure blonde, right? This child that I had with this brown guy with black hair, he doesn't have a lick of blonde in him, came from that. Now, my background is Afro-Cuban on my father's side, and by my mother's side is Spaniard. So there are blonde people in my lineage. Great-grandma was blonde by my mom's side. So there is some blonde genetic there somewhere, right? And the boyfriend, he's about my color, but he's from Peru. He's more on the Aztec, and even his features are like Aztec, tribal. And I'm just explaining the biology here. But she doesn't think about this. So she thought, because I had a baby with this brown guy, the baby came out white and blonde. Let me try with this guy. Different lineage, is not he has not a lick of European. And if it's a girl, I'm hoping I'm gonna get a girl, and then I can get the little white girl that looks like me with the blonde hair. That's not what she forgets that Allah is the creator, not her. That the world doesn't revolve around her desires. To me, I don't care how my son came out. As long as he came out healthy, alhamdulillah. And I wanted a son. If I would have had a girl, I would have gone crazy over her too. But I would prefer a son. Just because. That's what I wanted. If my boy was a girl, I would have been done the same thing I'm doing now. I would have moved here the same way. No different. But in her mind, the world should operate how she wants and how she feels. Not in reality, not in what is, not in what the child needs. The child needs his dad. Let me come to an agreement with his father. He's a good father. He's been involved. Let me put my personal vendetta aside, even though I destroyed the relationship, and how dare him not take me back. Let me put that stupidity aside, because he doesn't have to take me back, because I destroyed the relationship. But no, in her world, it doesn't work that way. She can't get over that. So now let me use the only tool I have, which is his son, to try to get back at him. I'll just get a new guy, make him play stepdaddy, and we can dispose of the actual father. Yeah, that would have worked with a nobody dude that doesn't care about his kids. If she would have gotten the right guy in me, the right guy that she wants, meaning that she was hoping for the outcome, the right guy in her mind now would have been like, all right, you know what? Never mind, man. I'm going to continue to live my life here in Miami. I don't got to pay for nothing. I ain't got to pay no child support. She blocked communication. She left. She don't want me around. Fine. So bye. Shoot, I might move. That's not me. That's my son. I have a stepson, but that's my only blood son. I will give my life for that boy. Nobody loves that boy more than me. Somebody might say, how can you say that, bro? His mom, trust me. Nobody loves that boy more than me. Okay, what evidence do you have to prove this? Let's look at our actions. If we look at both of our actions, we can clearly see who's doing things in the best interest of the child. If we put two lists together, you quickly realize the list is tilted one way. So who really loves the child? Truly love, true pure love. No, I'm talking about who's willing to put it on the line for that child. In every way. Me. I relocated here. She relocated here too, bro. She did. But the reason is different. She relocated here to split me from him. I relocated here to be with him. Because his mother wasn't going to go back. And they couldn't ask her to go back because we weren't married. The reason, that's what determines. The reason is part of what determines who loves that child more. If we're just talking about pure love, since she only lives in the world of feelings. My reason for coming here was my child. Her reason for coming here was to rip me away from my child. Rip her child away from a loving, caring, involved father. Is that love? Is that love? I don't think so. I think my actions are love. Anyway, I could go for another 3 hours talking about this. But alhamdulillah, she served. Now we're going to court. I'm just waiting. We are just waiting now for the gentleman to serve the papers. He has to send back some things. It's confirmation that in writing. We have served her, and then from there, we take that to the court, say we have served her. Then she has 20 days to answer the court, answer what I filed, what we filed. I also wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't answer anything. I wouldn't. Now, I would actually prefer that. If she didn't answer, she actually doesn't have to. As crazy as that sounds, she doesn't have to. That doesn't mean something's not going to happen. It is going to happen. I would prefer that, because we then just file another motion, another documents with the court that says it's been over 20 days. Respondent never respond. It's called a motion for default. What is this? A motion for default. This means that what you asked for in the first lawsuit that you filed, that she didn't respond to, is granted. The judge has no reason not to. There's no opposition. The other person didn't show up. They didn't care to show up. They didn't care to answer. What do you want? 50-50 of your son? Okay, you pay the child support. There you go. Finished. Okay, so now what? How do you get your son? She's not complying with anything. Time comes around, and what is said on that judgment, on that schedule parenting plan, the schedule you set out, it's time for you to get your son today. This woman still has you blocked. She's not complying. What do you do? Now I have a court order. Now we got some chips. Now we got some chips. So what do? Go to the sheriff. I need help enforcing this. Now the sheriff has to comply. Come with me to the residence. Sheriff department. Court order. We have a court order to enforce. If she resists, a few things could happen. She could end up getting arrested. I get my son. Let's say for some reason the sheriff is like, she doesn't come out, blah, 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 whatever. Doesn't want to comply, she's not there, whatever. I believe the sheriff can make a report. With that report, we go back to court. Oh, there's a court order. She refused. Big problem now. We're talking about jail time. We're talking about possibly losing full custody, which then obviously will be granted to me because I'm the father. So if she thinks, let's just ignore the problem and it goes away for everything, big mistake. If she wants to, if she wants to take it that route, I don't care. Take it that route. I prefer she wouldn't, because I want my son to have his mom around. Again, I'm not a maniac lunatic that wants to take my son away from his mother. If that was the case, I would have filed for some sort of primary custody thing. I still understand he needs his mom, because I care about my son and I love my son and I know I care about what he needs. He needs both parents. Right? So who loves the child more? I'm back. I just spoke to my wife. I'm not feeling good. Anyway, I'm gonna end this live stream now. If I feel a little better later, or I go for a walk like I did yesterday, I went for a nice walk on a previous stream yesterday in a forest slash jungle. If I do this, I'll do another stream possibly, or maybe I'll do some content or something on there at the very least. So thank you for joining the live stream. I'll be back later on, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.